Blows across the 40, stays on his feet, cuts it back. Marion Brown, another kickoff return for a touchdown.
Look out! There goes two! No flags! Touchdown!
Howard in trouble! Incomplete! And the Michigan Wolverines will shock the college football world.
Time coming off. Howard's going to run for it. Time runs out. And that'll do it.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to the Big Ten, Oregon. They storm the field at Austin.
He handed it off to Love, who stays on his feet. Love is in the end zone. Notre Dame has won the Orange Bowl, and Marcus Freeman is taking them to the championship game. We're back.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Week 0 podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It is Week 1, and I am so excited to bring you tonight's show, brought to you by us. That's right, us. We are here. Tonight, joining me, first off, my name is Josh, top 25. Man, preseason rankings just aren't what they used to be, I'm telling you. Joining me tonight is Ryan, Start the Car from Vel. Below me, we got Lucas joining us, Luke Dog. Welcome back. I feels like it's been forever since you and I have been on the same time.
Yeah.
It really has. It's been months. It's a little embarrassing. And then we got, of course, oh man, I don't even see his name on here. Hold on. Sorry. We got, I'll just introduce you as Phil, the Maze Madman, joining us on the Week 0 podcast for Week 1 and our pick'ems. Phil, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Now
I'm
that
doing
football's back. Football is back.
Football is
Football
back.
is
You might notice that Ryan's background looks a little different than normal. He's actually down in Miami getting ready for Notre Dame at Miami tomorrow. What time is that kickoff?
It is 7:30 Eastern kickoff. Sunday
7:30
night.
Eastern. Prime time. Catholics versus convicts back again.
Nope, you can't call it that.
We can absolutely call it that.
You can't call it that because Catholics are convicts.
No, Lucas. You just get moved to a
It's all
different
jokes.
parish.
Hey,
Skip
we're
over
back.
that.
We're
Skip
back.
over
It's all jokes. It's all jokes here.
Oh, man. All jokes here. Well, I'm currently watching Georgia Tech and Colorado. And surprisingly, on this first drive, Colorado is establishing the run. So
Hey, one of my 7 fantasy football quarterbacks that I have on my roster right now, Caden Salter, putting on a show.
Yeah.
Did you start him?
No, I decided to start DeQuan Finn. That was a good decision.
Nice.
That's
That was
good news
super
for me.
All right, let's get into our first topic. We'll talk about a few games here, and then we'll get into the pick'ems for Week 1. Iowa State declawed Kansas State and Ireland in what was a ugly football game, to say the least, early on, and then kind of turned into a scoring fest late. Some bad decisions were made. What were your guys' thoughts on this game, especially it being the first college football game of the season?
So it being the first college football game of the season, it was the best thing that I've seen since last year's national championship game. That doesn't say a lot, but some things I liked about it. Football was back. We were going to watch that game if it was like Tarleton State at UTSA or whatever, right? It doesn't matter who played in that game. It was going to get great viewership. I love the tradition of having a game overseas like that. I don't love that we don't have a dedicated field over there for it.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is field conditions were They were pretty poor. We lost Phil for a second. Let me add him back. All right. So field conditions were pretty poor. The weather was, and I know the anyone here watching who's from Ireland is going to detest this statement, but the weather was a little English in the first half. A lot of rain, a lot of wet. It was interesting that they painted the field with chalk. That's why you couldn't see the lines. Like I said, I feel like if we're doing that game every year, we should have a dedicated field over there. Like make it turf, make it something where it'll cut down on injuries. It'll make it more watchable, just something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the paint thing was like weird because Notre Dame's played in Ireland a lot, and I don't remember the yard markers being an issue. And it always rains in Ireland, especially around this time of year. So I don't necessarily know why that was an issue, but getting to the game specifically, that first 15 to 20 minutes, that was just god awful football. I mean the amount I think we had 4 turnovers
in the
within the
first half.
first 20 minutes of the game. That was nobody could hold on to the football. It seemed like neither offensive line could block anybody. I don't think a pass was completed. I want to say the first pass that was completed was to an offensive lineman. Like it looked like we were watching 1890s college football out there before the forward pass was invented. And my God, Avery Johnson turned it up in the second half, but in the first half, he was straight dog doo-doo.
This happens every single year, though. The only times where it doesn't happen is when they decide they want to waste our time and have Notre Dame against Army in that game. But like if you go back, or Navy, whoever, one of the schools that go overseas and whatever. I gotta hold on to the jokes. I'm being a little bit too out of pocket. If you go back to the Minnesota-Nebraska game a few years ago, that was the same way, if not worse. I think that game was like every time they have this game and they have evenly matched teams, it's always like this. It's I'm somebody that thinks that the first football game of the season should be in the States because this is an American sport, but I think it is cool that they do it. I will second your opinion in they got to have a stadium. They got to have something there that is for this game or something better than what they got. That's why the halftime show was so long, was because they were re-chalking the lines on the field. And they know it's going to rain. It's freaking Ireland. They know it's going to rain. So, like, do something.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everyone's assessment of the game, especially the first half. It was pretty bad. And Kansas State set me back a bit because I picked them to win the Big 12. It still can happen, obviously, but they just made it a little more difficult for themselves. The best part about this entire thing was the Johnsons afterward.
Oh yeah, when you found out that Avery Johnson was black.
Yeah. The Johnsons in the street fight in Ireland. It was that was great. That was the best part of the. They should have broadcast that. Actually, it would have been a better matchup.
Yeah.
I'll also say this, I want to kind of get into the game because there were a few questionable calls from, Chris Kleiman. The 4th and 8 and field goal range. I'm not as mad about that one as a lot of people.
No. Well, I mean,
you're kicking a field goal in slop, where you couldn't even hardly see the lines, and I don't know about you, like that's probably a 40+ yard field goal. Am I taking the chances that my kicker is going to nail a 40+ yard field goal in a terrible field conditions in the pouring rain? Or am I going to trust what's supposed to be arguably the best, if not one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12 to go get me 8 yards. I get that one. The one I thought was more egregious was the 4th and 2 or 4th and 1 inside your own 30 with 9 minutes to go in the game.
I think it was further than that.
And you go for what was it, like a quarterback foul? Like that.
Yeah.
And Iowa State, everybody in the building knew that was coming. And you run it. And now I will say, I think personally, I think he got to the line to gain. I think they just got a terrible spot from the refs. But you don't put yourself in that position. That is like one of the biggest no-nos in football. You never go for it inside your own 30 with that much time left and 3 timeouts. Your defense is playing pretty well. You lost yourself the game on that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you who really lost the game. Anybody who bet the over.
Oh,
I think
they got screwed.
I'll put my 2 cents in on the game real quick. I think that Hansen is an absolute stud, and I think he's going to lead Iowa State to a really good season. Rocco Beck really impressed me. Even though he started slow, same thing as Avery Johnson, but he really impressed me at the end of that game. And also, as Tennessee sings in the background, Kansas State lost one of their best players
on the first
very
play.
early.
Dylan Edwards,
and so I think that's one of those things where you can't blame a whole game on one player, but if they have that guy, I mean, look at the Boise State game. Not having Ashton Genty, they lost by 40. So, like, I'm not saying that Dylan Edwards is Ashton Genty, but he is a really good player, and I think if they had him, they could have made more of a splash on offense. They kind of got it together in the second half a little bit, but not having him was definitely a huge, huge loss for that offense. And I'm still really excited for their season. Same as Phil, I have them as my Big 12 champion, going 12-1. So they're gonna have to run the table after this.
Yeah.
But I think both the teams are really good. And I honestly think that Iowa State was really slept on to begin the season. I think nobody was really talking about them because they got blown out in their last game that we all saw because nobody watched their bowl game. I think we're sleeping on Iowa State a little bit. They're a grindy good team, and they could make a splash and maybe see them in the playoff.
I will say this: of all the teams that have gone over and played their first game over in Ireland, I mean, history has not been kind to those teams.
Yeah,
I saw a stat where I think of the two teams, like their average schedule at the end of the season was like 5-7. So it's one of those things. Like, is it good for the sport? That's kind of neither here nor there in my opinion. Because is it really good for the fans if you got to travel halfway around the world to watch a team play, week 0? But
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like it's a good tradition, but
yeah, I think it's
good.
If
it went away, I wouldn't miss it.
I think it's a good way to grow the sport. I think that's what the whole point of that is to grow it, more, globally.
Nationally.
Yeah.
Or globally. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think it would be better if you had that in Australia. It moved around.
Australia would be crazy.
Australia would be crazy.
Do we have what other games do we got?
So we just have 2 more, and then we're getting to the pick'ems. This one we can kind of talk a little bit about. I want to talk because, I know some of us had UNLV winning the Mountain West. I want to say 2 of us had them in our final 12-team CFP. Based off of what you guys saw in this game, 1, is UNLV still the favorite in your guys' opinion to win the Mountain West after what we saw with Boise? And 2, do you guys still think that, obviously mathematically it's still possible, but with what you guys saw from this game, are they legitimately a threat for the G5 auto bid still?
I can go
I
first because I
mean,
do have him in my CFP. I
go
have him
ahead.
in my CFP. I think they are. I think they're still going to be a really good team. I mean, there's always going to be a lot of growing pains when it comes with having a new coaching staff and having a bunch of new transfer players. I mean, they brought in like 20 transfers this last year. Like they completely rebuilt that whole team. So there's going to be a lot of growing pains. And, you know, when I think about week one, you know, just survive and advance. You know, Oregon only beat Idaho by 10 last year in the first game of the season. It was looking like, okay, Oregon's not going to be very good. We dropped from like, I think 3 to 9 or something like that in the rankings. Obviously, you guys know, went on to go undefeated and win the Big Ten. So, like, I don't want to be too quick to judge a team off of week one if they win the game. I know it's Idaho State. I understand. But judging a team off of week one when they win the game, I think is foolish. And I think that next week, I don't know who they got next. Or they're playing today, aren't they?
Sam Houston State.
Yeah, that's
Same
right.
Houston State.
That game's probably already started. But this game today or this week at least, I don't know when it is, but is going to be the real, like, yeah, it's tonight. It's going to be the real deciding factor on if UNLV is legit. If they go out there and just beat the hell out of Sam Houston, it's like, okay, they had some growing pains. They got over it, and now they're on a roll. If they struggle against Sam Houston, still get the win, I'm going to be a little bit more concerned.
Yeah. The thing that was concerning is, like, I get the first game jitters, right? Or, like, the first game screw up you're going to have when you haven't played football all season. Because, again, college football teams don't get preseason, right? So they don't get 3 games to kind of work out their kinks and figure it out.
Well, there's some
But,
scrimmages, but it's not like
yeah.
a live game.
But the thing is, like, it is Idaho State. And it's one thing to say you struggled against Idaho State and won. It's another thing to say you struggled against Idaho State, including giving up 580 total yards, 380 of which were through the air. That to me is concerning. Like, there's some things you can fix, but there's not much you can really do to fix when your corner's getting gassed by an Idaho State receiver. Like, it was bad.
By a finance major in Idaho State. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Oh my God, Georgia Tech turned the ball over again. Wow, 3 turnovers for Georgia Tech in the first. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, you kind of raise some red flags here with UNLV. Yeah, they were one of the favorites to reach the CFP from the group of 5, but they did. They gave up 5 yards to Idaho State, which, by the way, Idaho State overs, and UNLV only beat them by a touchdown. It's concerning. You're supposed to be so much better. You're supposed to have better talent and stuff like that. And I understand, like, slow starts and everything, but this was an absolute game. You know, as far as, like, I mean, if you look at the stats of this game, Idaho State played better, and that's what's really concerning. But UNLV did get the win. They did survive, and a little bit of what Lucas said. I do believe that, you know, we're really going to find out later tonight.
Which concerns me, Josh, because Sam Houston State, and I'll let Phil kind of give his thoughts. Sam Houston State, you go watch their game last week against Western Kentucky. That was an offensive shootout. That's the one thing Sam Houston State is known for, is their high-flying offense. I will tell you right now, they have 10 times better talent than what Idaho State had. If you gave up 580 against Idaho State, if you didn't fix that, it could be a long night against Sam Houston State. So,
Yeah,
Phil, what are your thoughts?
yeah, I agree. My sentiments are much in line with Lucas here. I picked them to win the conference. I also had them as the G5 team in the CFP. Um, what I saw was concerning, and everybody has already spoke about it. The defense was paper mache at best. But as my team last year started off rough on defense. We played teams like Arkansas State and um, Fresno State, I believe, and didn't look great. But towards the end of the season, you start to round into shape. It's a new coordinator, like Michigan had a season ago. Everything's new for UNLV though, but I do think they can still salvage something, especially if they have a good showing against Sam Houston, and still be the team that represents the G5. So I'm not gonna completely dump them, but I do have my eyes open. I am looking at them sideways right now.
Yeah, I think anytime you give up almost 600 yards of total offense, you're going to have people looking at you side. I don't care if it's Ohio State.
FCS school.
I don't like. I also don't like how much Alex Orji is playing. They're trying to run this dude, look at this Georgia Tech guy with that extra large jersey. That's hilarious.
I saw that.
They're running an actual like 2 quarterback system, and I don't like that at all. I think that they should use Orji as more of like Penn State used Pribula last year, or how like Texas used Swopes. Or Swope, whatever his name was. Like, they got to use him that way and not as another quarterback. He needs to stop throwing the football because that guy cannot throw a football. He just needs to run every single time he's in the game. I think that's going to be something that we're probably going to see that's a little bit different tonight versus week 1.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. All right, the final game we'll talk about, USF stomps out Boise State last night. And what was a slow burn to start off with, and then South Florida just put pedal to the metal and blew out Boise State.
South Florida and they did it with.
How do you not notice? Man. How do you not notice from the booth that their backup quarterback is standing back there as the punter? How do you not notice that? Like, somebody's got to say something. That's ridiculous,
right?
Coaching.
So realistically, with this game, we were talking about it off camera. Realistically, the only big losses that this Boise State team had, Ashton Jeanty, which obviously is a huge loss, doesn't matter who you are. He was, I think they said he had 46% of their total yards last year. As well as was responsible for over 60% of their scoring last season. You lose that, it's going to hurt. But I didn't think it would hurt this bad to where you're getting blown out against South Florida. And now maybe preseason rankings, like Josh said, they don't matter. And we expected too much of this Boise State team. But I didn't think, I knew they were going to take a step back, right? I didn't think they were going to dominate the Mountain West. I didn't think they were going to get the G5 auto bid, but I thought they were going to be a 9-10 win team. I thought they would be serviceable. I didn't think they'd lose to South Florida, right? How much of this, what we saw last night, was not having Jeanty? Realistically.
A ton. A ton of it. Because they had no run game. Unfortunately for them, Malik Sherrod, who was supposed to be the big, he's not quite as good as Jeanty, but he's right there. He's a really good running back, and he turned out to just not be anything. And then their other running back, Gaines, he runs hard, like a bat out of hell, but I think he fumbled twice or something like that, once or twice. Mm-hmm. It just isn't the same. And when you're forcing Madsen to throw the ball, he's just not it doesn't there's if they know you're going to throw the ball because you have no run game, Madsen is not the quarterback that you want to be throwing the football.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying he's a bad quarterback, because I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he's, good enough, but they need that run game, and right now they just do not have it. And something about South Florida is they were really excited about their new defensive front. They were really excited about their new defense that they had put together.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, rightfully so, man, because that defense was flying around. There were no broken tackles. That was like one of the best performances I've seen from a team in week 1 in a really long time. Like there were no faults. Like they were a little bit slow on the first couple drives, but after that they were just on fire against still a really good Boise team.
Yeah, I will say though, I think that what really got them going was that dumb penalty. The unnecessary roughness, which, ironically enough, the very next play, Byron Brown just absolutely trucks that man into oblivion, and then proceeds to do it again on the touchdown on that drive as well. Like that, what Byron Brown did to that linebacker was criminal. Like that's a felony right there. And I'll be honest, like if you look at Byron Brown and you just look at him, like he doesn't look like a buff dude that's just gonna. He doesn't look like Cam Newton out there, right?
He's
like I did
but
not
he
expect.
Is he's
That's
he's
what
like he's basically the size of Cam Newton. He doesn't look like it, but he's like 230 pounds or some shit like that.
Like it's a weird, like I don't know where that 230 pounds is all going, but like when I saw what he did to that linebacker, I'm like, okay, he just weight roomed that kid. Just like
Absolutely.
You stop playing football after that. Like you just lazy. You just put him up.
You stop. You start playing tennis, brother.
Yeah.
Right.
This ain't for
what
you.
you really saw there was just was the display of Brown's toughness on those runs. His just unwillingness to go down. It's like, oh yeah, I'll meet you at the goal line and I'll hit you even though I don't have to. Like that kind of. I mean, can you blame him? He was really just tearing up that defense. That 3/4 of the game.
I think the.
Go ahead, Phil. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So South Florida's first 3 possessions of that game were 3 and outs. They you look at the stats, they did not control time of possession. They did not have as many first downs. They were hitting home runs. They were getting to the end zone. And that the fake punt for a touchdown, dude. Yeah. It was insane.
I think you gotta quarterbacks like Byron Brown, like who was struggling with accuracy early in the game. You can't allow them to get that confidence. Once he hit a couple throws and he start to feel good about himself, then it was always going to be tough after that. That said, I didn't get to speak about the Ashton Genty or the lack thereof.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Definitely affected Boise State. He was like 100% of their offense. It looked like from this game. But I also think something that's underrated and not talked about enough is actually going to South Florida in August to play a football game. I think that affected Boise State as well. It's hot, it's humid, and that's a big factor as well. And these guys are kind of used to it. And as far as like Byron Brown and him not looking as big as Cam, having like the dark uniforms helps, to slim you up, make you look a little smaller. But he is a unit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the game was over when he trucked that linebacker.
Yeah,
when that happened, the game was over.
All the heart for Boise State was gone after that. If he can't tackle him, none of us can tackle him.
None of us can do it.
But no, I'll be honest, dude. When South Florida came out with those all-black uniforms in 90+ degree heat,
right,
with like 70% humidity, I'm like, all right, like this is a flex. Like you are trying. Like
I genuinely think South Florida might be a team that we're going to be talking about in December.
The Americans wide open.
Entirely possible. They're
Right.
Like I hate it when I do hate it when teams go out and they play really, really well against a good team and then they lose to like, you know, they lose to food and rice or something like that. Like
yeah, you can't lose to food.
you can't lose to food. But that's like I hope that they're not one of those teams. But I mean, based off of what we just saw, they could be a team that we talk about as that G5 bid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Especially
what
with
I
the
think
American-
and why I think South Florida did so well is they were able to play to their strengths. South Florida from last year toted pace, offense, high flying, kind of hitting home runs, and then defense was at +7 last year at the end of the season in turnovers. So, yeah, they really did. They created those turnovers that, opportune times for Boise State. Usually, when Boise State was driving in USF territory, and they were able to capitalize on those. So what we really saw here was a complete game for USF, and they were able to play the way they like. And just Boise State, you can call it the weather, you can call it, not being able to rely on the run as much because they were down. Just all these different factors just kind of went into them not being able. Boise State losing their playing identity and USF playing to theirs. But I think that's to end this.
And like I said, I agree with Lucas. I mean, we could be sitting here around December talking about South Florida, especially with how wide open the American Conference is. I mean, Tulane was the power in that conference for a while. They kind of took that step back last year. They lost a lot of their team off of last year's team. And then Army and Navy were the top two teams in the conference last year. I don't know how sustainable that is for two, academy teams. I mean, it's realistically wide open. I think South Florida and Memphis right now are probably the two teams you look at in the American that could take that spot. So that's definitely true. All right, let's get to a pick'ems for week 1. As of right now, these are the current standing. Now, this will change after tonight's games with Baylor, Auburn, and Georgia Tech, Colorado. We're all I think we're split on both of those games, so that'll kind of have a lot of impact on this. As of right now, we have a 4-way tie, and then we have Lucas in last place.
Damn it, man.
Yeah, the Hawaii and what other game was it that Josh picked the up? Oh, South Florida. Phil and Josh really got the points off of that South Florida win.
Yeah.
So, that's where we're at with that. Now, Lucas wasn't here last week to tell this. So, Lucas, how we're doing this is we're going to be picking this year based off of the order we finished. So, since you've won last year, you'll be picking first this year. So, here's our first game of week 1. Mississippi State at Southern Miss. It's the first game after game day on ESPN. This one, they're Mississippi State's a 13.5-point favorite. I think that's too much for the worst team in the SEC. Lucas?
All right. I do think that they're going to win by quite a bit. I got 35-17 Mississippi State. Southern Miss is a formidable team, and they could actually have a pretty good season this year. But it's SEC ball. Early in the season, I have Mississippi State winning this one.
All right, I'll go next. I'm actually taking Southern Miss in this one, in the upset.
Wow.
Mississippi State lost their star quarterback, Michael Van Buren, last year. They were starting their backup from last year.
I don't know if you can call him star quarterback.
He was a highly rated
Did you see the
quarterback.
record last year?
Did you see the team he had around him last year? But they're starting his backup this year in Blake Shapen. I don't have a lot of confidence in Shapen. This is the same Mississippi State team that got blown out at home last year by Toledo. Going on the road at Southern Miss. This is Southern Miss's Super Bowl. And mind you, they brought over Charles Huff from Marshall, and they brought over Marshall's entire team from last year. And now Charles Huff knows one thing, and that's how to beat a Power 4 opponent. He did it against Notre Dame. I believe he did it against another team later on. So I'm riding with Coach Huff and Southern Miss on this one.
Okay. I'm going to take Mississippi State to win this game, but I think 13.5 is too much. When you play at a smaller school like that, the crowd is going just it's better for the smaller school, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like, the crowd's not going to be crazy, but for them, it's going to feel like a much bigger game than it will for Mississippi State. And I think attitude-wise, that can come into effect. Now, we do have a lot of question marks for both of these teams. Southern Miss, I believe they finished last in their division last year. They're very not good. I remember going to Southern Miss at Kentucky last year, and they called the game after halftime. It was 31-0 Kentucky. So I just, like I said, there's a lot of question marks here. I believe Southern Miss's attitude toward this game will affect it more so than any sort of preparation or lack thereof from Mississippi State. I still think Mississippi State wins. I don't think it'll be by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So Travis Johnson, who's a 4-star wide receiver commit to Michigan, his brother actually transferred to Southern Miss. He plays tight end, TJ Johnson. I've actually interviewed both their mother on my channel, had her on twice, I believe. But anyway, shout out to Miss Johnson, who is in Washington, D.C. right now, watching her son Travis play his first game against Gonzaga, which is Carter Meadows. But congratulations to them. But there will be no congratulations for Southern Miss. They're going to lose to Mississippi State, unfortunately.
All right. Next up, another Power 4 team going on the road to a G5 team. Northwestern at Tulane, and Tulane is 5.5-point favorites. Lucas?
I'm not as high on Tulane as a lot of people. However, I do have them winning this game. I have it close, though, 27-21. I think Northwestern is going in a good direction. It is Northwestern, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I think Northwestern is actually going in a good direction right now. And I'm just not – there's a lot of unknown about Tulane this year for me to think that they're going to win this game by a ton of points. And Northwestern, they're kind of those – they're one of those like hold the ball for a long time, ground and pound type teams. And I think that's going to be a little bit hard for a team out of the American to handle. But I still think that they're going to get the victory.
Now, I haven't seen, but I believe that Jake Retzloff is quarterback, is QB1 for Tulane. I'm going Tulane in this one, but again, I think, like Lucas, I would take Northwestern in the points, but I think Tulane gets this one by a field goal at home. So give me the green wave.
I, too, will take Tulane. I really like Tulane's head coach, John Summerall. Believe that, and if you're familiar with him, I know a lot of Kentucky fans are. He was our linebackers coach for. He really knows how to bring the energy to his team, and I think you know what, I'll go on to take Tulane over the only Power 4 directional school. Purely directional. Like there's no hate in there. It is just direction.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Northwestern here. I like David Braun. I think he's gonna get these guys playing some decent football as well as you can play with a bunch of nerds. But I think they pull off the upset. I'm either going to crash and burn or I'm going to point and laugh. Give me Northwestern.
All right. Coastal Carolina at Virginia. Virginia is 12-point favorites at home. Lucas?
Ooh.
Did we lose Lucas?
We might have. He's
right.
muted. He's
Oh, there we
muted. Hold
go.
on.
Yeah, I was muted. My fault.
Oh, you're good.
I didn't realize they were 12-point favorites. I actually have them exactly as a 12-point win in this one. I got it 42-30 Virginia. I think Chandler Morris is going to have a great year at Virginia. Virginia, another team that's going in the right direction right now. And Chandler Morris is a freaking stud. So I think he's going to have a big game for the Cavs.
Yeah, I'm going UVA in this one as well. Give me the Cavaliers.
Yeah, as much as I like the Chants, I'm going to have to take Virginia in this one. Just honestly, it's the home field, and they're being in power four. They're going to have more availability to better talent and bigger guys. So give me Virginia.
Yeah, I'm going with Virginia as well. I think Tony Elliott is got them on the right track. I agree too with Lucas. Quarterback play is really everything. I think it's people underrate that a lot, but Chandler Morris is a good quarterback, and I think he's gonna help them this year in trying to turn that thing around. So give me UVA.
All right, next up, Cal at Oregon State. Former Pac-12 opponents face off in a, what do you call this, ACC Pac-12 After Dark game. Minus 1.5 for Oregon State and the Beavs. Who you guys got, Lucas?
So I have seen this line switch from California to Oregon State, and I think they're in the right direction. Malik Murphy is a freaking stud. He's going to have a really good year, I think, and Anthony Hankerson is one of the most underrated running backs in college football. I got Oregon State winning this one 31-24.
Yeah, I'm taking the Beavs in this one as well. I agree with everything. I think Malik Murphy is a stud. Anthony Hankerson is a dude. So give me the Beavs in this one.
Hey, and don't forget Trent Walker. Trent Walker is freaking incredible, too. I got to shout him out. He's an Oregon boy.
All right, I'm going to be a little less analytical here. I'm pretty sure Oregon still has Beavers in its state, right? All right, because California doesn't have Bears anymore. So give me Oregon State. I don't know how it could be Bear country without Bears.
That's crazy. I'm going to go with Cal. I can't wait to see, the quarterback there, Saga Politelli.
The 5-star.
Yeah.
The guy who saw Dante Moore for 5 seconds and was like, "Nah, I'm leaving."
Yo.
I'm going to Cal.
Yeah. He might be the highest rated player on either team. So give me Cal.
All right. Utah at UCLA. An old, the old Pac-12 matchup again. This will be a Big Ten versus Big 12 game after dark. The Fighting Nico Iamaleivas against the Devin
Dampiers.
Yeah. Lucas?
Listen, I think I made a huge mistake after listening to a lot of people talk about making my Big 12 championship winner. I do think it's going to be Utah. That team is really, really good. And I think adding Devin Dampier and his offensive coordinator from New Mexico State, right?
New Mexico.
Yeah, New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Adding those two guys, I think Utah is going to be really good. I do think that Nico is going to be able to do some good things in this one. So I have the final score Utah 34-21. But Utah, they're going to be a real team to look out for, and they're starting unranked, and it's going to be a good story when they go and win the Big 12.
Yeah, I got Utah in this one. I think They just got the better coaching. I like Devin Dampier more than I do Nico. And I'll be honest, there is
That's
no home
crazy.
field advantage at the Rose Bowl. So, give me Utah on this one.
All right. I'm gonna go with 5.5 points at UCLA, but nobody goes to those games. Man, this is so tough. I'll be contrarian. Give me the worst program in the Power Four. Give me UCLA.
Damn it.
I hate UCLA, dude. I just with a passion, and I'm just hating them to be a hater.
So, man, this guy gave me no reason during the Big Ten media days to pick UCLA. And I'm talking about their head coach.
He's a terrible coach.
His name escapes me right now.
The guy who said I don't know if you know, but we play in
Bro, that might not have been the dumbest thing he said during that, which is terrifying. But I like what they were able to do towards the end of last season. They look like a decent football team. I have really no reason to pick them here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Devin Dampier a little more than Nico at this moment. I think Utah is a better program for sure at this moment. They have better coaching, but give me UCLA at home. I think they eke out a close one. Give me the Bruins.
All right. TCU, the Horned Frogs head down to North Carolina to take on the Fighting Bill Belichick's and his girlfriend.
Yep.
Lucas, who do you got in this one?
Oh man, this was probably, I would say, probably the hardest one for me this weekend, and that includes all of our game of the week games. But I do think UNC has the better quarterback in Gio. I believe he is starting Gio Lopez, either him or Max Johnson. I think both of them are better than who TCU has. I'm going UNC in the first game for old Billy 21-year-old. I got 21-17 UNC honoring his girlfriend.
I think she's 24.
She's anywhere from 17 to 21, Phil.
Oh man.
Damn it. Well, I'm taking the Horny Frogs in this one. I think Josh Hoover is one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in the Big 12, in my opinion.
Crazy.
I think I have TCU and along with Baylor kind of being those sleepers in the Big 12. I'm taking Josh Hoover and the Horny Frogs to beat, the Blue Pill Fighting Tar Heels.
I'm gonna interrupt you for a second. I just saw a Colorado quarterback throw the ball away.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's a miracle.
Well, it was that or take a 22-yard sack.
Yo,
How many
I thought
times
that
did
play was
Sanders-
a screen the way that the Georgia Tech defenders got back there so fast.
No blocking whatsoever.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
Anyways.
Colorado line, blocking optional. I'll go on and take – this is a close line. I'll take the home team. Give me North Carolina. I don't think that coaching really translates that well from
the NFL.
From the NFL to college. There's a possibility that it could. Whatever. Just give me the North Carolina almost pedophiles.
Yeah.
The Carolina barely legals.
I'm gonna take North Carolina too. He's got some talent on the roster. TCU is traveling to North Carolina. Give me North Carolina here. I don't feel good about it. But I'm gonna say 24 to 17, anywhere from 17 to 24.
Hey, age is just a number, right,
Hey.
Phil?
Right.
Oh yeah. Tell it to your parole officer, Grandpa.
Tell it to R. Kelly, man.
Oh no.
Right.
Oh, all right. Syracuse versus number 24 Tennessee. This is played at Mercedes-Benz, so no home field advantage for either team. Tennessee's a 14-point favorite in the Benz. Lucas, who you got?
I got Tennessee beating the ever-living hell out of the Orange guys. 49-10 for Tennessee. I think that a lot of people are sleeping on
Apparently, so are you.
why am I I keep wanting to say Al Jair. It's Aguilar.
Aguilar, yeah.
Yeah, their quarterback Aguilar. I think people are sleeping on him. He's never had the talent that he has at Tennessee right now. I think he's going to be a stud. Tennessee is going to run away with this.
Yeah, see, I'm going the opposite direction. I'm taking Syracuse and the Fighting Fran Browns. We saw last year what he did with Kyle McCord, where we found out that Kyle McCord wasn't the problem at Ohio State. I think Syracuse is in a really good direction. They brought in Steve Angeli from Notre Dame, so there's a little bias. I'm rooting for our boy Steve. I think Syracuse gets a big upset win in Mercedes-Benz to kick off the season.
Okay, so this one was a kind of a tough pick for me because I've been paying attention to Tennessee's quarterback situation ever since Nico Amalivia left you. So watching the spring game for Tennessee and then hearing all of the Tennessee fans gripe, moan, complain, saying that they're going to go 3-9 and it was, it's going to be a terrible year and all this other stuff. If there's one thing I know, Tennessee fans are absolutely delusional, and Josh Heupel loves to run up the score on season openers. They just always do. So Tennessee's going to be there with a fast-paced offense. I could see this game going either way. Just depends on what team establishes their type of game first. With that being said, I'm going to begrudgingly take Tennessee in the Orange Bowl again. Give me the Vols.
I too am going to go with Tennessee in the battle of my orange is better than yours. I don't really have a lot to say about this. Syracuse beat us for a 5-star wide receiver. It's ridiculous. And then Tennessee just stole a 5-star wide receiver from LSU, neither of whom are playing in this game. But still, I'm upset about it. I'll take Tennessee.
You're going to be singing Rocky Top in Mercedes-Benz.
Right.
Good old Rocky Top.
Number 8, Alabama goes on the road to take on Florida State and the Fighting Thomas Castellanos. Who's evidently Alabama's not going to stop him, according to him. No. Lucas, who you got?
I think Alabama is.
Who the hell this quarterback is?
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I do think I'm gonna start it with this. I got Florida State scoring 20 points, and that's in honor of Thomas Castellanos because I do think he is a really good quarterback. But I have Alabama scoring 59. So, I think Ty Simpson is gonna have a freaking day throwing to probably the second best wide receiver in college football. And it's going to be a fun one for the Alabama fans.
So I do think this
guy.
Oh, dude, that was terrible. I'm sorry. We're also watching the Georgia Tech.
I apologize. Yeah.
And
I love watching
King
struggle.
is folding pretty badly.
Good.
I do think
less points
holding. Okay.
So what I'm hearing is that it was a good
holding on the defense.
Bailed him out.
Wow.
So what I'm hearing is it's a good thing that Haynes King wasn't able to throw last year because he had an injured arm. Now that he can, it's not
Well,
making
it doesn't look
sense.
like he can either.
Also, before you go, Ryan,
That was weak. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was
Go
weak.
ahead.
That was
It
weak
was
sauce.
pretty bad.
All I'm gonna say right now is Josh disrespected Tarleton earlier in the show,
Are they
and they're
beating?
currently down 7 to Army right now, playing a heck of a game. They beat Portland State last week by 50, I think. Tarleton's a team, man. Tarleton's a team.
Look. All I'm saying is, anyway. Okay, whose pick is it? Is it mine?
Yeah, I am. Tarleton might get that Pac-12 invite before Sacramento State. Anyway, I do think Alabama wins this game. I think it's closer than the 14-point spread. I just think on the road, it's not going to be a true night game, but it's going to be a 3:30 Eastern kick. I think just going into Florida State in general is a hostile environment. I think it could be one of those week 1 games where Alabama's not full to strength, and they win this game by like 10. I just think Florida State is going to come out this game hungry after last season, kind of make it closer than it should be. But I got the Tide in this one.
Give me the Tide, and the Tide's gonna roll, baby. Florida State, I don't think that they had such a demoralizing season last year. I think you're going to see fans in the stands. Early on in the game, it'll be close, but the Tide's going to walk away from them. I got probably beating Florida State by 3 touchdowns is what I'm thinking. You're going to see people doing the chop, and they're going to look real sad.
Either I'm going to look like a freaking genius after this week or a complete moron.
No, shut up.
You're
taking the Noles?
The Seminoles.
Whoa.
For this is the upset that I think is going to happen this week, the biggest one anyway. I'm going to take Florida State straight up, 3-point win over Alabama.
So they're going to tell
State beats Alabama. If Florida State beats Alabama, I hope Russia sends a nuke.
So they're going to tell DeBoer to walk home from Tallahassee, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't to get on the plane. You're walking.
Phil's on a roll with his hot takes because last week he said Avery Johnson was a sleeper Heisman candidate.
I'm so bad you remember that.
You totally forgot.
Oh, man. The Battle of the Tigers and the Battle of Death Valleys. LSU goes on the road to take on Clemson. Clemson's a 4-point favorite at home. Lucas, who are you taking?
Dude, I think this is going to be a hell of a game. I'm really excited for it. I'm going to take Clemson 41-34. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think LSU's defense is a little bit worse and Clemson is a little bit deep I think LSU's defense is worse and Clemson isn't as deep as LSU is, so I think it's going to be really close and it's going to go back and forth. But I think the deciding factor is going to be the quarterbacks, and I think Cade Klubnik. I know I'm riding on the bandwagon along with Herb Street and everybody else, but Cade Klubnik is the man. I called it 3 years ago when everybody was dogging him. I said Cade Klubnik was just wait, and I think he's going to have an incredible year. I'm taking Clemson in this one, and Brian Kelly's going to be 0-4 in openers.
Yep. Big game Bayou Brian. That's in for you. Give me the Tigers in this one. The real Death Valley.
Also great
Tigers.
Give me the what is it we used to do to piss Andrew off? The rare.
Wow.
Give me the Tigers, man. I think Clemson gets this one done. I don't trust Brian Kelly in any sort of big game, especially on the road, especially week 1. Give me Clemson.
I think one thing that most of us can agree on here is this is going to absolutely be a shootout.
Yeah.
You got one of the best offenses in the SEC going to one of the better defenses in the ACC. You know what? Give me LSU. I'm taking LSU for this one. As much as I don't trust that Bayou Brian will be able to win a big, season opener like this, I just think that if you put these two teams in a score as fast as you can competition, LSU comes out on top.
I'm with Josh here. I think I knew Ryan would never pick LSU here. But I think LSU wins this game. I just believe a little more in their depth. Here's get ready. Hot take coming up. Both of these guys are Heisman candidates, Nussmeier and Klubnik.
Absolutely.
I like Nussmeier a little more. Klubnik, I know, it was supposed to be all world. Last year, he started to show that. This year, everybody thinks he's going to keep it going. I'm not too sure about that. I got him in the same boat as Drew Aller in terms of they got to show it to me. But I'm going to go with LSU here. And I don't think it's particularly close. Give me LSU by 10.
Ooh. I will say in this game, it's going to be so fun to watch the wide receivers play in this one because Clemson has a really, really good wide receiver core. There's two guys on the team. I'm blanking on their names right now, but they're absolute studs. And then LSU always has crazy wide receivers. They have Nick Anderson this year, who was Oklahoma's best wide receiver. It's going to be really, really fun to watch. This is probably my game of the week. I think it's going to be the most fun game to watch because watching Notre Dame and Miami, it's Notre Dame, and then watching freaking Texas and Ohio State, two teams that I hate more than basically anything, play each other. But
well, one more thing on that. LSU also has Barryon Brown.
They do.
They do.
All right. Now to our team pick'ems, and then we'll get to the rest of the game. Toledo at Kentucky.
Kentucky's back, has it?
Hey, Kentucky knows how to beat MAC teams for sure.
Yo.
Go ahead, Lucas.
Hey, it's not an easy thing to do, is it?
It's not. It's really not.
So, yeah, Ryan would know for sure. So I actually was watching a podcast where somebody had Toledo in their college football playoff.
Wow.
Winning this game. I'm not on board with that. It's at Kentucky. There's no freaking way Toledo goes into Kentucky and wins this. However, 31-21. I do think it's going to be relatively close. Unfortunately, as you know, Josh and Bordeaux have said multiple times, this is more of a 5-7 season than a 7-5 season for Kentucky. This is going to kind of show just kind of how bad they are in week one. Even though they get a 10-point win, it is Toledo.
Yeah, I'm going Kentucky in this one. And hey, I can't say anything. You beat Toledo by 10. That's more than what Notre Dame did against NIU last year. So congratulations, Kentucky.
I'm picking Kentucky in this one too. Toledo, I think, might be a very good MAC team, but Kentucky has some horses at that Toledo doesn't. I'm not saying Kentucky's. Don't let me be clear. Kentucky is going to lose a lot this year, but they'll beat Toledo. They'll start 1-0.
All right, now for my pick. Obviously, I got it on my chest. It's going to be Kentucky, and it's not going to be close. It's going to be 41-10. I'm taking the Cats to beat the Rockets. And I know a lot of people are picking Toledo to win the MAC, and I want to let you guys know the MAC champions last year came to Lexington, and it was 41-6. So give me Kentucky. They're not going to be upset in this game. This is going to be one of our 3 to 5 wins this year, and I'm taking it. I'm going to take it and run.
My Baylor pick is looking really bad right now.
Yeah, I saw that update.
What's the score?
17-3.
Yikes.
All right, number 17 or number 13, South Carolina will play Virginia Tech in the second game of a doubleheader at Mercedes-Benz. Who you guys got in this one?
So, I actually think this game is going to be closer than we might think. Drones with another season under his belt, I think is, he's really experienced. However, South Carolina has a Heisman Trophy contender at quarterback. I'm going to need to see a little bit from their wide receiver core, but I'm going to take South Carolina 36-24 in this game.
Yeah, I'm taking South Carolina. I got them in my playoff. So I think Lenore Sellers start the season out hot. I think they beat Virginia Tech pretty handily. I got them winning about by 17 plus.
All right, give me South Carolina. I mean, you guys have said the praises of Lenore Sellers, and let me talk about South Carolina's D-line. You got a really solid group of guys. You got crazy edge. So
Dylan.
Freshman last year, yes. And he's just gonna tear it up. He's gonna create havoc in the backfield. Drun's gonna be pressured all night in this one. Give me South Carolina 35, Virginia Tech 17.
Yeah, as you guys might know or not, I just dropped my daughter off at Virginia Tech last week.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for Virginia Tech a lot going forward, but they're going to lose this game. South Carolina by all the points.
Yeah.
All right. Phil's team takes on New Mexico. Michigan's a 34.5 point favorite. I swear to God.
Could they give them any more points?
Can they put up 35 points? That was a challenge last year.
I'll kick this off. Michigan is going to be a significantly better team than we saw last season. New Mexico is going to be a significantly worse team than we saw last season. I have this game finishing 45-6 Michigan. I think their defense is going to be even better, even though they lost some guys. I think, obviously, Michigan's offense can't get much worse, so it can only go up from where it was. They actually have a quarterback that can throw a football. Black Ben Roethlisberger back there. I got Michigan winning by a lot.
Yeah, I'm taking Michigan in this one. There's not really much to say.
I mean, yeah. give me Michigan. I'm skeptical on the points because that is so many points. But Michigan wins this one easily. Is New Mexico the Lobos?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They lost their best player. Obviously, Devin Dampier now plays for Utah. It's not much to really say. I do think Michigan wins big. 34.5 is a lot, but I think they cover it. Just check my DraftKings stub. Got Michigan covering this. Go blue.
All right. Now, a game that doesn't have a spread for obvious reasons. Montana State at number 7, Oregon. Lucas will go last. I'll go ahead and start this one off. Let's go Ducks. That's all that needs to be said.
Yeah, Oregon gets to name the score of this game. There's going to be a couple 2-point conversions, and it's going to be brutal.
Yeah, Dan Lanning is going to score as many points as possible on Montana State. They might break the scoreboard. Who knows? Oregon by a lot.
All right, so I will say there's going to be some growing pains in this one. Our most experienced wide receiver coming into this season is Justice Lowe. You guys probably don't even know who that is. So there's going to be a little bit of growing pains, and obviously with Dante Moore playing in his first significant time, it's going to look a little bit interesting, but it's not going to look anything like last year. I think Dan Lanning has kind of learned from that. I got 44-17 Oregon. Montana State is the number 2 team in the country for a reason. They are really good at running the football. They're a really good team. They're very well coached. They're going to put up some points, but obviously Oregon's going to dominate this game.
Yeah, they're no North Dakota State. But, anyways, my team, number 6 Notre Dame, plays at Hard Rock Stadium Sunday night against the Hurricanes. Notre Dame's a 2.5-point favorite. Go ahead, Lucas.
This is fun. Both these teams are really good. Building up for Ryan to be disappointed with me. Both these teams are really good, and I think Carson Beck is going to be the difference maker. Miami 37-34.
Yeah, I think when you really factor in this is a dangerous game for Notre Dame, especially starting is Carr a freshman?
Redshirt freshman.
So no meaningful snaps, anything like that. He's going down. I don't consider the Hard Rock Stadium a hostile environment, but it's going to be tough. There's going to be crowd noise. It's going to be different. And him taking I got to give the edge to the experienced quarterback here. I'm going to take Miami to win the game, but not by a lot.
Yeah, I'm joining the trend. This has nothing to do with my disdain for Notre Dame. Obviously, I would love nothing more than for them to win this game. No, seriously. They are going into this game with a young quarterback, inexperienced, at least in meaningful games. So I gotta give that some credence. Carson Beck, who I don't think is a world beater, does have the experience, and he's playing at home for whatever that matters in Miami. But I'm going to take Miami in a low-scoring game, 17-13.
All right, so I know a lot's been made about C.J. Carr and the quarterback difference. I think while it's an obvious thing to point out and it's a big factor, I think a lot of people are kind of missing the rest of this matchup in terms of outside of the quarterback position. I think Notre Dame is better than Miami at every other position outside of maybe arguably defensive line, because they do have 2 edge rushers that Ruben Bain's going to be a first-round pick. But outside of that, I mean, I think Notre Dame, if you just go down each position, Notre Dame has Miami beat. 2, I think for Miami to win this game, they need Carson Beck to play great. Well, I think Notre Dame can win this game with Carr having a below-average performance. I think there's more margin for error for Carr than there is Beck because, one, Miami's defense, we don't know what that's going to look like. They were atrocious last year. Couldn't stop a nosebleed. The 2 teams that they faced that ran the ball down their throat at will last year were Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech, where they gave up a combined almost 400 yards total rushing in 2 games. You're facing Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, and one of the best offensive lines in the country. I think Notre Dame makes this a rock fight, and I don't think Miami, not that they're not built for it, I just don't think they mentally want to play that type of game. And I think Notre Dame is used to that way. That's what they did all the way to the national championship last year. And I don't think Miami has the horses that Ohio State did last year that was able to play that sort of game and beat Notre Dame at that game. So I got Notre Dame winning this one. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Notre Dame wins 27-17 in Hard Rock. So All right, let's get to get this thing to work real quick. $1 ticket game, and then we'll get to the game of the week. This one should be fun. Ball State at Purdue. Purdue is a 17.5-point favorite at home. I think that's a lot. Lucas?
Yeah, I do think that's a lot as well. I mean, they got Maccabee. I think they still have him, right?
Yeah, Maccabee, yeah.
He's a stud, but you're going to need a lot more than just one guy. They lost their best player to Oregon last year, or this year. Their best player last year to Oregon this year. I still have Purdue winning 17-7, but don't tune into this game if you don't want to be depressed.
I'm taking Purdue in this one, but I think there's no way in hell they cover that spread.
This is like a less commonly known rivalry, and it's to figure out who's the second best team in Indiana.
Best team.
Best team in Indiana. I'm gonna take the Boilermakers, but I just think it's because Ball State isn't that good. 17.5 is a lot.
Bill?
Oh, Phil's.
Oh, you're muted.
Bill, you're having technical difficulties.
Sorry,
Can't hear you.
I don't know if Purdue scores 17 or over in this game, but I do think they win this game. They lost I think Lucas brought up, they lost their best offensive weapon to the other state.
The defensive, their best overall player, yeah.
Right. I don't. This is gonna be ugly. Don't watch this game. Paint your walls. Watch those dry before you watch this. Yeah.
All right. The Week Zero podcast game of the week. We don't have our team of the year because Delaware doesn't play this week for some reason.
I'll still take Delaware plus 10 against the bye week.
Yeah.
Their week one was
Delaware State
yesterday.
Yeah.
Never mind. So we called that game last week, so it'll be week 2.
And we got it right, boys. We're not a curse.
Yes, they didn't lose.
Not a curse.
It was looking bleak there when they were down 3-0 in the second quarter. Anyway, number 1 Texas at number 3 Ohio State. This line's been shifting every other day, hour to hour. When I looked last checked, Ohio State was -1.5. Who are you guys taking in this one, Lucas?
I am going to take, let me see. I got Texas, Tejas. I got Tejas winning 24-20. I think there's going to be a lot of growing pains at the quarterback position. Okay. I think there's going to be a lot of growing pains at the quarterback position between Sayan and Arch Manning, but it's going to be a really fun game to watch. My biggest factor is going to be the run game. Texas has a much better running back. I know C.J. Donaldson is a good running back as well, but Wisner is very, very good. One of the best, if not the best, running back in the SEC, in my opinion. I think it's going to come down to the run game, and Texas is going to have it and win this one in a big, big matchup. I also have Ohio State losing 4 games, so this is 1 of 4.
Yeah, I think this Ohio State team is still going to be a national championship contender.
Tarleton tied it up. Sorry to interrupt you.
I think if this game was played in like week 8, week 9, after Julian Sand got some chemistry, got some game experience with, that receiver group and that team, I think it'd be a different outcome because I'm not fully sold on Arch Manning and this Texas team yet. I still got to see it. But I think as of right now, this game's being played week 1 at noon. Give me the Longhorns in a close one.
I am also going to pick Texas in this one as much as Ryan Day wants to talk about the physicality of his team. This Texas team is much more physical. I think the Texas D-line is going to have a good night. I think that that's a good run for Haynes King there.
Do you think Ryan Day calls out Mac Brown before this game?
That's the real question.
Where's Mac Brown?
I will say this: congratulations to Ohio State again for winning the national championship, but you're not going to win this one.
Asterisk.
Yeah, I think all right. So Arch is a Manning. I think he's going to be really good. I think Texas is the most well-rounded team in college football at the start of this season. I think they walk into the shoe. They put their pimp hand up high, bring it across their face, smack the other state with the dark side of their hand. Over and over again. 33-13 Texas.
Oof.
Holy.
I was told by an Ohio
Smoke-a-doodles.
State fan today that Ohio State wouldn't allow 13 points to anyone on their schedule this year. And that includes Texas, by the way.
Do they think their defense got better?
They think it got better.
They genuinely think that. That's crazy.
They actually don't like
Because they're not playing. They're not playing Oregon, so.
Well, I don't think they'd mind seeing Oregon as long as it's in the playoffs and not in the regular season.
That's crazy.
This guy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
The
They're not going to be in the
disrespect.
playoff. They're not going to be in the playoffs to worry about, Ryan. Shut up.
Hey, man, I think Oregon would love that to not have Ohio State in the playoff. All right. Well, that's been our week 1 pick'ems.
So what
Josh,
they're saying
what-
is that it's going to be 12. It's going to be a 12-10 win this time for Michigan, not 13.
So they get a safety to win the game.
They're not going to. They're not going to allow 13 to any team, but Michigan's still going to win 12-10.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. All right. Josh, take us out.
All right, everyone. For Lucas, for Sir Thrizzleton, is that what we're going with? Sir Thrizzleton. For Ryan, start the card for Vel, and for myself, Josh, top 25, LOL, Bryant. This has been the Week 0 podcast. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.